ahead, April.
Karine, a couple of questions. This announcement by the president tomorrow is dropped right in the midst of this racial and political dynamic, as you will. Mary Frances Berry, the former head of the U.S. Commission on Civil Rights, said this is not the first time that the history and the truth of Black America has been obscured, had revisionist history, and as you said, lied on. How do you marry these two moments with the president's announcement tomorrow, as there are those who believe, one, that African American history has been lied on, propagated by this administration? How do you make this a significant moment, as it was in history, for those in this moment who don't believe it?
So the president has made it very clear. We cannot pick or choose our history. We can't. We should learn everything about our history, the good and the ugly. The president has said this over and over again, right? And he's made that very clear. When you think about the National Monument, it tells the story of events surrounding Emmett Till's murder, right? And I said this earlier. It was a significant event, a sad event that led to the civil rights movement. And we need to continue to tell that story, tell his story, and not just his story, the story of his mother, and what she tried to do to make sure that what he went through was not lost. And so, as we talk about the civil rights movement, as we talk about Emmett Till's story, this is American history, and it is the broader story of American Black oppression, the survival, and the bravery in America. All of that is connected. And so, yes, it's an important moment. You're going to hear directly from the president tomorrow. So I would certainly say to you to tune in. He'll speak to this more specifically and more directly. And so what I can promise you is that this administration is certainly committed to making sure that we tell America's and this nation's complete story. And that's what you've seen from this president over and over again.
So how do you plan to do that beyond tomorrow? Because this is not stopping from Florida to everywhere else. How do you plan to continue to tell this story? As again, there are still segments of society who don't either want to hear it or believe it's a lie.
So a couple of things. You heard from the vice president directly, right? She gave a very forceful rebuke of what is going on in Florida under that governor's leadership. And so that's something that you're going to continue to hear. You're going to continue to hear from this administration speaking out and being very clear about how dangerous that type of rhetoric is to our country and to our history. So you'll hear that. I think tomorrow is an important moment coming from this administration, showing and lifting up a story of Emmett Till by acknowledging, making sure we continue to acknowledge what he went through. The event that happened, again, led to the civil rights movement. And so that monument is important. I think it's important for the president to be able to do this, the fourth one in his administration. So you'll hear directly from the president, and he'll continue to speak to this. One of the four crises that he talked about when he walked into this administration was racial injustices, what we were seeing in this country, and how we needed to continue to fight, and we needed to continue to uplift what we're seeing across the country over the past couple of years, not just a couple of years, but over what we have seen over the past decades. And so this is a president that doesn't shy away from that and is going to continue to speak up.
And last question.